Courageous Self-Care Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On this show, I love to share about self-care strategies that go beyond the external. I often say beyond bubble baths, chocolate, and wine, to the internal, where they make a huge difference. And they will give you things like more energy and more peace and contentment and fulfillment with your life. They do take courage, though. They can get you pretty uncomfortable. So that's why I do this show, to share those strategies with you and to show you what you may not know about self-care. I have a gift for you. It's your lucky day. I've made a quiz called the Self-Care Style Quiz. You can take it at ChristinaMarlette.com, and what you will learn is your self-care style. It's very revealing. It's always beneficial to learn more about who you are and what you're like, so that you can see if you love what shows up, fantastic, keep on doing it. And if you get some information that you think, I'd like to change that about myself, then at least you've got some information. So you can go to the website and take the quiz. On today's show, we are continuing to talk about Courageous Self-Care Foundation number 1, which is shifting your relationship with time. I have a new strategy for you. I love to be able to give you tools where you can take action immediately so that you can experience transformation right away. We've been talking about our relationship with time in terms of treating time like a friend. And that's all it is, really. The only way we can interact with time is through our emotions. And if we think about how we would want to treat and be treated by a friend, it gives us a great idea on how to go about shifting that relationship. For most of us, we often think about time as the enemy or something that we're going to battle with and have to overcome. And no friend wants to be treated that way. So I have a new suggestion today on how to continue to cultivate your relationship with time. The benefit of doing that is that when you make friends with time and you give time wonderful attention and loving thoughts and respect, time will give you gifts. I have found this to be true over and over in my life. As soon as I started shifting my relationship with time and starting to treat time like a really good friend, my best friend, in fact, then time has given me wonderful gifts, unexpected breaks, unexpected holidays, unexpected dates with my husband, unexpected time with my kids, or time to myself. And what that feels like is that now my life feels so much more expanded. There's not this pressure of anxiety and stress anymore. I get to be the calm in the center of the storm. And I attribute it, a great deal of that, to treating time like my friend. Before I share today's strategy with you, I would love to invite you, if you have a story of everyday courage, to be a guest on the Courageous Self-Care Podcast. You can go to ChristinaMarlette.com to fill out the application form. It doesn't have to be this monumental story of amazing courage. It could be if you have one, but what I like to do on the show is show that we are all courageous. We don't give ourselves credit for it. And then to hear other people's stories of everyday courage can be really inspiring and help us to take action to move through our own fear. So go ahead to the website if you would like to apply. I would love to have you. All right. So today, the action step for shifting our relationship with time is the power of the pause. What does that mean? What I've noticed in a day filled with a lot of activity and organization and decision making is that if we don't take time to pause, recollect, regroup, then the day can become overwhelming. I know I certainly used to live in this kind of like tornado vortex of so much going on, not enough time to do it all. And I hear that from a lot of other people too. We don't have to live that way. The pause has made a huge difference. So the power of the pause is actually a concept from public speaking. When we pause, we give the audience time to digest what we've been saying. just like I did there. Now, in our day, when we incorporate the power of the pause, we are giving ourselves time to digest what's been happening. I always love to, when I'm focusing on a topic, to look up the etymology of the word that we're focusing on. So I looked up pause, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It doesn't have this amazing word history, but it does give us some ideas. So pausing, the word pause comes from words that mean an interruption or a cessation. And that can give us some information on why we would want to pause during the day. Let's say you're going along through the day and the stress is mounting, you feel like you're running behind, you've got deadlines. Why wouldn't you want to pause and either interrupt that stress or stop it altogether? That's what I have found the power of the pause to do in my own life. We want to take a break from that sense of busyness and rushing around and accomplishing. Pausing helps us land in the moment and remind us that we are human beings, not always human doings. And don't get me wrong, I love to accomplish stuff and be productive as much as the next person. The benefit of using the power of the pause is that because I've incorporated these into my day strategically, that what I've learned is that I don't have to get caught up in anything. And if I forget, because of course I'm human, if I forget that, I always have a pause built in that will help remind me. Now, when we're creating a new habit, it's easier if we tack it onto something that we're already doing. So built-in pauses, I'm going to share with you 3 ideas on where you can build a pause into your day. The first one is when you get into your car. I have created an intention that I say every time I get into the car, and that helps me pause, take a breath. After I'm buckled in, I just land, set that intention, and if you want to know what it is, you're welcome to copy it. It is, my intention is a safe drive, smooth flowing traffic, perfect timing, feeling excellent when I get there, surrounded by kind, courteous, generous people with harmony in the car. That's what I say every time I get into my car. And then I also have a pause when I arrive. And that pause is before rushing out to the next place, because I do like to move quickly. I pause, take a breath, and feel gratitude that I've arrived safely. So those are, well, that's one idea, but 2 pauses. You can bookend your car travels from getting into the car and getting out of the car. Great place to pause. Idea number 2 is pausing before meals. Some people call this grace. When I was growing up, we said grace in German, because my mom's German, and I didn't really understand what I was saying. So it was more of a habit that had no thought behind it. And then I went away from saying grace as I was rebelling against the idea of religion. But once I understood that religion and spirituality don't have to be the same thing, and I embraced my spiritual side, I felt a desire to feel gratitude for the food on my plate before I ate it. And now, whenever I sit down, I go through this. It's kind of like an intention, kind of like a prayer. For me, I call it a gratitude practice, but it incorporates so much more than the food. And this is a wonderful, I would say this is my most powerful pause during the day, because I do it every time that I eat, and it's like a landing point. So one of the most important parts of what I say in my pause before meals is that I am feeling grateful for all the people in my life, all of my experiences, and all of my belongings, in addition to some other things, which are more to do with the food. Now, when I say to myself, I'm grateful for all the people in my life, this in itself is a wonderful pause, because if I've had any unpleasant interactions up until that point, I still remember, oh yeah, I'm grateful for that person, even if I don't feel like I resonate with them, even if the experience was unpleasant and uncomfortable. I'm still grateful for it because it is helping me expand into the next best version of myself. Same thing for all of my experiences. And that again helps me land in that moment, that part of the day, and remember, okay, if I had an experience that didn't feel so good, I'm still grateful for it. This pause, like I said, has been incredibly powerful. And because I'm already sitting down to eat 3 times a day, or if I happen to be eating in the car on the way somewhere with our kids, I still do my intention. Or if I'm eating in a restaurant, I still do my intention. And it is this incredibly powerful landing point that gives pause and interrupts any unpleasantness I've had up until that point in the day. Now, my third idea is the pause I get during meditation. I have worked hard to cultivate the practice of meditating in the morning and before bed. And that pause of being in stillness, of being in silence with myself, it is a very rejuvenating pause. And I've mentioned before on the show, and I will say it again, that the one comment that allowed me to make meditation a constant practice for myself was hearing, if you're too busy to meditate, then you are too busy. When I heard that, I thought, I don't want to be too busy to connect with that part of myself that is influencing every single other aspect of my life. Absolutely not. I want to make time for that. And ever since I made that decision, I have been able to, although it's been challenging, to meditate every single day, twice. That's the agreement I made with myself. Now, some people say I'm not good at meditating. I don't know how to do it. I can't clear my mind. There are so many ways of meditating, and not all of them involve sitting still and trying to silence your mind. I'll do a show on that another time. And there are some great new practices based on how women's bodies and hormones work, how men's bodies and their hormones work, so that you can be doing the best meditation practice for yourself. We'll do another show on that. It'll be great. For now, meditation is an excellent way to pause, to stop, interrupt the stress that's going on during the day, and to regroup, find that stillness, and carry forward with renewed energy. That's what I have for you today. The power of the pause. I'm very grateful that you took the time to pause and listen to this, and doing something for yourself that makes you feel good, that makes you feel happy, that gives you new information. Of course, that's another way to incorporate a pause into your life. The more time we spend doing things that we love, the happier our lives will be. I invite you once again to go take the the self-care style quiz at ChristinaMarlette.com. And I'm so grateful for you being here. The podcast runs Monday through Friday, so be sure to come back and listen again for more actionable strategic self-care Oh gosh, I say that all the time. Strategic self-care strategies. That's not what I mean. For action-oriented self-care strategies that you can start practicing right away and make a difference immediately. Last thought, remember, self-care is not selfish. When you prioritize your own well-being purposefully, not only do you benefit, everyone in your immediate circle benefits, and energetically you're sending ripples out all over the world that it is okay to be peaceful, it is okay to love yourself, and it is absolutely okay to be the very best version of yourself. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to connecting with you again soon.